ये हो गया है ना सर, इसको कुछ करना नहीं है ना? शायद हो गया है। भेज दो मुझे।
Okay, so I think we're good to start. So I'll just start with a brief introduction. So, first of all, thank you everyone for joining. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to each one of you. ISI India, Imperial Society of Innovative Engineers, is a leading India's organization driving the nation's transition towards e-mobility through skill development, research, and industry academia collaboration. Incepted in 2013 with a vision to build a future ready workforce, ISI India has today created the country's largest ecosystem for EV skill development and innovation. Over the last decade, we have trained more than 4 lakh students and professionals across engineering, diploma, and vocational sectors, established 75 plus state of art centers of excellence and EV labs in partnerships with universities and institutes, industries, NGOs, and state governments across India. Partnered with 50 plus industries and associations, including OEMs, component manufacturers, and startups. Collaborative with 750 plus universities and technical institutions in 24 states. Our centers of excellence and EV labs are equipped with advanced training setups in EV design, powertrain, battery management systems, charging infrastructure, telematics, IoT, and future technologies. These labs are not only provide hands-on experience, but have also served as an incubation hub for innovation, research, prototyping, testing, and industry-driven projects. ISI India has delivered more than 1,000 plus skill development programs, enabling students, researchers, and educators to bridge the gap between classroom learning and real world industry equipments. Through flagship national competitions such as Electric Vehicle, Solar Vehicle Championship, Formula Imperial, and the Youth Empower Summit, ISI India has created a platform where innovation meets excellence. These events have engaged 10,000 plus students from more than 500 plus institutions every year, encouraging them to design, build, and race their own electric vehicles. Our training initiatives are deeply aligned with India's EV mission 2030 and Scale India movement, ensuring that the country has a strong, future ready talent pool to lead the global electric mobility revolution. With each center of excellence, each training program, and each partnership, ISI India is strengthening nation's green mobility infrastructure, empowering youth with future-ready skills, and driving innovation for a sustainable tomorrow. ISI India's journey is not just about numbers, it's about impact. It's about preparing India for the electric future of today. Today, as we have gathered through this platform of Mobility Leadership Series, let's deep dive into the topic for discussion: accelerating skills and infrastructure in automobility sector. We now turn to our distinguished panel of leaders and innovators who will share their insights how together we can continue to strengthen their ecosystem. Please join me in welcoming our panelists to the stage. First up, we have Rajiv Singh Thakur. Rajiv Singh Thakur is a seasoned IAS officer from 1995 batch of Rajasthan Cadre, currently serving as advisor at Niti Aayog, Government of India. Over his career, he has held several key positions, including additional secretary in the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, joint secretary in the Department of Defense, as well as the Department of Military Affairs, and Secretary of the Government of Rajasthan in Rural Development and Food and Civil Supplies. He has also served as District Collector in Alwar, Bhilwara, Bansawara, Karoli, and Srinagar. With more than 2 decades of administrative leadership, both in the state and the center, his work has a rare blend of policy insight, grassroots governance, and strategic national level planning. Welcome to the panel, sir. Next up, we have Kashi Vishwanathan, sir. He is a global automotive and mobility leader with over 25 years of international experience spanning Tesla, BMW, VinFast, Royal Enfield, Hyundai, Volvo, and Tata Motors. He is currently the co founder and managing director of RK Global Consultants, where he drives investment strategy and advisory support for EV startups and global OEMs, securing 1 million US dollar in funding in 2024 alone. A World of Skills coach and SAE Life member, Kashi Vishwanathan Sir has mentored students, startups, and doctoral researchers across Europe, Asia, and Australia, while serving on international boards for EV, hydrogen, and automotive innovation. Known for his strategic foresight and hands on expertise, he continues to shape the future of clean mobility, leadership, and global policy advocacy. Now I welcome Vasudha Mangalam ma'am. Ma'am is an accomplished executive with over 27 years of diverse expertise in the technology industry. Known for her expertise in strategic planning, organizational transforming, and operational excellence, she has been instrumental in driving both startups and established businesses to scale and achieve both corporate objectives. A strong and decisive leader, Vasudha Mangalam Ma'am specializes in talent development, mergers and acquisitions, business process partnering, and executive coaching. She is deeply passionate about fostering purpose driven cultures that empower individuals while delivering sustainable business growth. With her ability to align vision with execution, MAM has consistently been a catalyst for innovation, people centric practices, and long term successes. Next, we have Mr. Srinath Gururaja Rao. He is the Senior Vice President of Human Resources at Simple Energy, where he leads HR strategy and operations for one of the India's most promising electric vehicle companies. With more than 24 years of experience across human resource, HR technology, and leadership, he has played a pioneering role in shaping organizational, cultural, and workforce innovation. He is a recognized global thought leader in HR, credited with inventing and patenting six HR tools that are used to enhance decision making, retention, and career management. He has consistently been honored as a top HR mind, a great people manager, and a champion of employer branding. Certified in organizational analysis, people analytics, design thinking, and leadership from landing institutions, he is passionate about building great workplaces, advancing HR as a discipline, and contributing both industry and society. Next, we have Mr. Pradeep R. Pradeep R is the head of HR at Excite Energy Solutions Limited, bringing with him more than 2 decades of expertise in human resource management across IT, consulting, engineering, and R&D. A physics graduate and MBA from the University of Kerala, he is also a gold medalist from Symbiosis in HRD and has attended specialized executive programs at IIM Bangalore. His career includes leadership roles with Siemens, PwC, Cognizant, Premetals Technologies and Dissolve Systems, where he served as head of HR before joining Exide Energy. Over the last 15 years, he has successfully led HR transformations, management initiatives, OD interventions, and leadership development programs. Beyond his professional achievements, Pradeep is an avid reader, a Formula One enthusiast, and a passionate traveler who also enjoys connecting with people and exploring new experiences. Next, we have Mr. Anil. Anil heads the CSR at JSW Foundation and brings rich experience spanning both HR and corporate social responsibility in the manufacturing sector. Having worked extensively at both plant and corporate levels, he has been deeply involved in organizational transformation and community development initiatives. His passion lies in connecting innovation with entrepreneurship, making a meaningful difference in people's lives, and exploring the hidden in the age old customs and traditions. With his unique blend of industry experience, people orientation, and social vision, Anil Sir continues to drive impactful CSR programs that create long term value for communities and organizations. Last but not the least, we have our moderator for the day, Mr. Manik Das. Manik Das is a seasoned business journalist and deputy manager at HT and Mine. With over 14 years of experience in journalism and content production across diverse domains, including business, automobiles, BFSI, technology, energy, and sports for both print and digital platforms. He has worked with some of the most respected names in the media industry, such as the Economic Times, Discovery, Innonate, Publishing Group, Auto Portal India, Gadiwari, Top Speed, and Electric Vehicle Web, while also contributing as a freelancer to EI Samay. Manik Sir began his career as a sports journalist at Gran Shakti, a leading Bengali broadsheet daily, before transitioning into businesses and mobility journalism. In addition to this, Manik Sir has worked as an independent PR and branding consultant, advising organizations on a communication strategies, branding, and positioning. Now I hand over the dice to Manik Sir.
Thank you, Ishika. Hello, everyone. And uh, let's start today's panel discussion. We are just witnessing a revolution in motion, which is a transformation of our entire concept of transportation. The move from automobile, the self-propelled machine, to automobility, which is a seamless, integrated system of movement. And to keep pace as well as to lead this new era, we must accelerate two parallel efforts: skills development and infrastructure enhancement. So, when it comes to skills development, building the modern workforce is the primary agenda. And the transition to a software defined electric and connected future is creating a significant skills gap, especially in the Indian market. The mechanics of the past must become the mechatronics and AI engineers of the future. When we are dealing with an enhanced era of new technologies, our strategy must focus on targeted training programs, modernizing training institutions, upscaling the existing workforce, and integrating academia and industry. So, in this panel discussion, we will learn these in details from our distinguished speakers. And my first question to Mr. Rajiv Singh Thakur: how do you say the Indian government is empowering the value chains to create the next generation skilled workforce?
Right. Good afternoon, all. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Uh, but my unfortunately my video is not working, so we have to live with that. It's internet glitch. So, very important topic and a seminal subject on which we are discussing today. So, regarding skills, especially for this particular sector of automobile, what the government is doing is, firstly, one of the major programs which you can say is the automotive skills development program, and where seven particular domains is of interest, maybe for all of us, would be robotics, smart manufacturing, industry 4.0 tech, electric vehicles and alternate fuels tech, future tech, then automotive sustainability, which all we are concerned about climate change and sustainability, and automotive safety. So these are 7 domains where qualification packs are being developed for skilling the sector. As you rightly told, that the drivers or the mechanics of the earlier era of the internal combustion engine and S12 technology need upskilling, reskilling, and all catching up with the latest thing. So that is one of the foremost things. These 7 areas of interest for skilling. Besides skilling on these 7 particular things, there is another very important scheme, which is a National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme, which is called NAPS. So where the government provides incentive to employers, as we are aware. And further, employment-linked incentive scheme also recently announced, which is also a very ambitious program, in which the manufacturing sector and automotive sector would be of importance. But along with this, there are 3 major infrastructure schemes which will eventually feed into the skilling sector, which are the 2 PLI schemes of the automotive sector. But one is about the automobile and components, other is about the ACC batteries, and third is this old FAME scheme, which is now into the latest version. So with all those initiatives, we can understand that with so much of almost 60,000 crores of rupees of investment in these 2 PLI schemes and FAME, plus the specific skilling scheme, as I mentioned, about the 7 domains and about the National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme and Employment Link Scheme. So lots of focus is there. So, and with the recent only today's news, we all read in the newspaper how our economy is doing. The first quarter report is very promising, and especially led by the services sector. So that is very heartening, and I think skills will continue to play a major role, especially with services sector taking a big leap ahead. So that will be my opening remark here. Thank you.
Manik, I think
Manik, sir, you're on mute.
Sorry, apologies for this. Okay, so my next question is for Mr. Kashi Vishwanathan, Panchayat Sharon. So, sir, how do you see the talent demand from the auto industry is transforming over the last couple of years?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Manik, because this is a laptop for of earlier MD Cecil. So I just connected in his login right now. So thanks for the opportunity. And as you rightly said, in the last maybe 2 years, I mean post-COVID, I can say, because the EV is the future, right? Everyone is talking about EV and alternate fuels and like that. So accordingly, we need to develop the skilled manpower on those verticals. Okay. So especially I onboarded on 1st of August here to lead the Tamil Nadu Apex development for automobile. Okay. So we are the implementation partner of all the automotive skill development, councils courses, in fact, to enter Tamil Nadu. Okay. So what I have done is actually when I onboarded here, they made it into 4 verticals, right? One is the automotive OEMs, targeting the automotive OEMs across Tamil Nadu and targeting automotive suppliers also across Tamil Nadu. We've got 5,000 suppliers across Tamil Nadu itself, where they are supplying the components to the OEMs. And we are targeting the automotive startups, as well as we are targeting the automotive retail industries in Tamil Nadu. So in that 38 districts of Tamil Nadu, I identified the automotive cluster where there is a requirement of skill, okay, exactly in these 4 sectors, okay. So I identified especially in 3 verticals in each sector. One is the research and development, second is the automotive manufacturing, third is the retail industry, like sales and service. So in this way, I'm just pitching it. That is the first project that we have initiated already. We got an approval and we are going ahead. So second is when we are identifying a skill in the last 2 years, in the future 2 years also, as VinFast is also onboarded right now, and Tesla is also onboarded right now, and Mahindra is already heating up, I think, with the EVs and all. So I think maybe the projections are moving very fast, and the infrastructure is also aggressive here on the other side. There are so many central government infrastructure schemes also coming on. So we are pushing very hard on developing the skilled manpower on taking care of the entire charging ecosystem and taking care of the entire battery infrastructure and taking care of the thermal issues. Because especially, in fact, last week we had a communication with Labor Secretary and Skill Development also in Tamil Nadu. So there are so many thermal issues are happening. So we have to develop the pool of manpower where they can able to handle the thermal issues from the OEM perspective as well as the legal law perspective from RI, ICAT, and corporate. We are connecting them also, and accordingly, we are also pitching the specialized courses for handling the thermal topic in EVs, because that is really missing. Because if any of the OEMs vehicle get burned or something, media get propagated or something like that. But instead of that, so there should be some kind of a task force team which need to be developed across India, and they have to go and find out the root cause analysis and discuss with the correct OEM and suppliers to find out the corrective action and to stop that problem, right? So in this way, we are pitching it actually through Tamil Nadu government first of all, and talking to ASTC also in this area. So I think these areas we have to focus in the next 2 years from my perspective. Apart from that, of course, automotive R&D, of course, you are doing wonderful job. I have seen this imperial skill development. So almost all the courses are really equivalent to the R&D sectors where they are doing it actually. And especially I can insist for ADAS technology, because ADAS technology we have to make specialized. Like advanced driver assist system and the automotive manufacturing, which is equivalent to industry 4.0 and 5.0. So we have to pitch those courses for the R&D and manufacturing from my point of view. So I think that's from my side actually about your question.
Okay, I have another question for you. How do you see the government's initiatives are aligning with the new generation skilled workforce demand that is coming from the auto industry specifically?
Of course, I have seen overall world, because I roamed around all over the world actually, right? I have handled the EMEA market, APAC market, US market and all. But compared to all the other curriculum across the world actually, I have seen the Indian curriculum is also fantastic. We are not, since 2017, when the EV started picking up, we are actually benchmarking many countries also. We are also sharing those curriculum, and we are trying to impart those curriculum with us. According to our landscape, like India is a really special market in terms of selling the automotive industry, right, compared to the other markets. So the law which is very, very strict in across the world, we are also making those legal systems in India. So in the past 5 years or 10 years, that's what I was saying. So I think in this way we can able to pitch it. We are on the right track. I think slowly we can able to make a kind of a roadmap for 2030 in terms of skill development, or in terms of automotive R&D and manufacturing and retail sector. So we have to make such kind of a roadmap, and we will benchmark the other countries where there is a potential of automotive sales. For example, China, EMEA market, and the US market, and accordingly we can able to migrate those curriculums also. We can use it and develop the skilled manpower actually. This is what I can see. But the schemes, whatever the things which we are implementing from the central government and state governments, is very highly impressive for sure. We are on the right track for sure. Okay? So a little bit of kind of a alignment with the state and central should be made actually. For example, some courses we want to pitch it actually across India in one course. For example, if the government order has to be released across India, has to be released. Something like that should be happening instead of state government is following. So that can be that's already going on, but we are in a good alignment. The ASTC, NSTC, like that, we are doing it in the right way actually. So yeah.
Okay, coming to Ms. Vasudha Mangalam, who is coming from a company that is known for developing new age technology, especially in the EV industry. Ma'am, how do you see the need for a guideline to create a global standard skill benchmarks to make Indian talent competitive worldwide?
Hi, great question. It is definitely extremely critical, and the reasons for that is very simple, right? India is at a pivotal moment with EVs and ADAS and mobility as a service, redefining the auto landscape globally. While producing in India is something that we all beat our chest and are proud about, we're also extremely proud about taking our products outside, right? So it becomes all the more important and critical for us that our products are competitive which means people behind creating those products should also be as competitive and understanding the global standards, right? So the need is extremely critical. We currently lack uniformity in skills or skill levels, I would say, across training institutes, leading to a kind of a mismatch between talent supply and an industry demand. Industry demand is very crazy because, sometimes the need is usually 2 weeks behind, and we are trying to fill somebody, and the person would be onboarded 60 days later. But is the person employable? Right? Yeah, is a person job ready? I mean, we have to actually define all of these in a very clear manner, because that's what helps us as HR people to enable the business. The global OEMs and suppliers are setting up in India, but still importing talent for key roles is becoming critical for us. And that's where the skill gap is, in some sense, needs to be addressed. Yeah, so I would like to say that the need for a national skills framework in some sense makes more sense. Maybe various other global benchmarks, like there's something called a Society for Automotive Engineers, right, and ISO standards. All of these regulatory bodies have to kind of pitch in. It's very important. Industry must move from train and hire to also co-create and certify, right? There's something called as professor of practice, and I recently learned that in one of the institutes or universities. I think that is very important, that collaboration where somebody from the industry who understands the demand, the rigor of the demand, and how the supply should actually suffice the need of the business and all of that. That is what I would call it as co-create and certify. Yeah, so global competitiveness angle is critical. Indian talent has that advantage. In fact, we've done that in IT services industries and IT companies. We may have to replicate that. We're good at it. We just have to replicate some of those best practices within the automotive sector. We still go out and bring people from Rivian or Tesla, or recently we hired somebody from Skoda. All of these are international brands, right? But we also know that India can produce great talent. It's just that we have to come up with more robust mechanisms where these global standards with respect to skill benchmarking is available for all of us to kind of make the best out of it. That's how I look at it.
Okay, ma'am, my next question is, how do you think the industry academia collaborations is strong enough in India to ensure there is an employable talent pipeline for the future of the industry?
So there's definitely intent, and it's also, this collaboration is fragmented, and there is collaboration in patchy presence. I've also recently met a few people who have been seriously invested in growing this collaboration, which is good to know. But I would like to see a lot more deeper penetration there. And it should not just be limited to guest lectures or just those seminars, or bring somebody for a hackathon or techathon or the likes of it, right? It has to be more continuous through the year kind of learning and grooming, and that collaboration needs a lot more investment. Most curricula still reflect legacy kind of structures, and not really taking a cue from research oriented or application based learning that international universities have. So need for a lot more penetration, I would say, and the faculty open for some of these exposures and inclusions, leading to significant skill improvement in the students. Yeah, so I don't know if I've answered your question, but I would say there is a call for action. The mindset shift is needed. It's happening, but it's slow. So I would just say that don't just hire from academia, build with academia, right? So the corporate India must move from a I think right now what we do is more of a CSR mode of interventions, but that deeper penetration of looking at a 4-year window or a 3-year window of a student lifestyle and helping academia and training centers to kind of build this whole ecosystem, and very continuously growing ecosystem is extremely important.
Thank you, ma'am. So I would like to place my next question for Mr. Srinath Gururaja Rao, who is representing another major player in the Indian EV ecosystem, Simple Energy. So, sir, how do you see, since the electric mobility penetration is rising fast in India, especially in the electric two-wheeler segment, how do you see the future generation of Indian auto industry workforce is preparing for that sector to be employable in that sector?
Thank you, ICI, and thank you, Manik, for a great question. I think future-ready workforce typically depends on what you're currently doing and what infrastructure do we have to penetrate the market and rise up in terms of skilling our workforces. Two distinct threads that I see and what we have done, which has helped us succeed in the competitive, hyper competitive market, I should say, because there are a few 3-digit numbers in terms of when you say competition in the EV space today in the Indian market, which is a good thing to have. What we have done is, one, invested in R&D in the institutes that we engage with, co-creating, co-building our products which go into a live environment along with the institute. This has helped us collapse the gaps that we had in terms of learning and putting that and converting it into the market space, right? Go to market strategy. What we did was, when we had unique challenges and the skills ready workforce that were available, there was a 40% gap in terms of what we needed to what was available. We had to literally go and see where cutting edge research was happening in similar spaces, be it a battery technology, thermal management, you're driving a motor which is ready for mobility, because which was already made for some other products, to align it to our market and engage those institutes for these unique individual product space as an OEM and co-create along with them. So our investments went into one leg of R&D initiatives where we are co-creating and co-building with the institutes, right, that we engage with, and which help the product become much better in the competitive space. Two is to engage your workforce to be able to drive a curricula which is aligned to your product space, which is aligned to your future product lines up, which we are trying to build, and then engage that institute for building a unique set of character skills and the coaching space that we engage them with. So we have tied up with a lot of institutes in India and abroad for very specific activities and driving the curriculum that will prepare them in the short-term stackable certification courses, as well as the long-term, MTech and BTech courses, which are very uniquely aligned to this EV space, be it battery management, be it thermal management systems, building a motor, building a powertrain, which is unique in its own way for the product. So these two initiatives and two legs, very distinct, has helped us cater the workforce which is preparing for the fast future. Of course, there is a huge demand supply. The product's penetration itself today is not more than 10%, right? Will be irrespective of what numbers we are currently producing as an EV industry. We are still not, we have only scratched the surface of the opportunity size. So therefore, if you want to grow big and replace grease with gigabytes, right, which is the traditional ICE engine to your EVs, you have to skill your people en masse and at a pace which is not seen before, right? Because it's a entirely new industry, be it in battery engineering, HV safety, power electronics, firmware. They're all distinct and fragmented today in different industries, right? So we have to bring them together, train them and align them to what we need for the future. So to sustain next decade in terms of keeping that edge of research and product quality and product superiority compared to competition within India, entire geographies across landscapes. We have to maintain that workforce which gets skilled, which gets aligned with the industry, and curriculum is current and driven by the industry. For example, our technology professionals are engaged with different universities for their curriculum, short-term courses as well as long-term courses. They go teach, they participate, and also are part of the board which drives the curriculum changes year on year. I'm sure some of the states have already implemented, like Kashi was mentioning earlier, that there are boards and the curriculum is driven right from the top, which Vasudha also mentioned. I think it's very imperative that the focus and the energy that we drive towards these are very, very disciplined and sustained. Only then a sustained workforce will be available for us as professionals to be engaged and drive that edge of competition to become better. I think this is very imperative. There's no looking back. All the technologies are available today in terms of different streams. It is fragmented. EV is one such industry, which I should say, which employs electronics engineering, which employs electrical engineering, which employs traditional engineering subjects, and brings them all together. So today it is imperative that you have one mobility engine which brings them all together, and they get trained in a different manner. So this is what we are doing currently. I hope this helps the audience. Yeah.
I have another question for you. So
Sure.
when you talk about the electric vehicle industry in India, at some point, and especially in the electric two-wheeler segment, at some point, startups were beating the legacy players. Legacy players were nowhere, but the startups were leading the game. And now, uh, startups are seeing increased competition from the legacy players. So, how do you see the EV startups in general in Indian market are doing enough to create a streamlined pipeline of future workforce that can benefit them as well as that can benefit the EV industry at large?
Yeah. So I think we are doing a lot more than what we did a couple of years back. NF is a very high bar given the demand that we have for consumption and the consumers' demands, right? So it's like a 3.3 kilowatt plug, great start, but not highway ready yet, right? So we need to do more of what we have already put as structures and amplify those, be it structured training tie-ups with institutes, which not only traditional universities which play the long game of training workforce, but also engage with unique institutes which can cater to the short-term demands and the supply chain demands, right? Traditionally, today, if you talk about any startup, the hiring cycles go through the funding cycles almost aligned, right? So you have to manage the workforce in a manner where this is also addressed. It is a hygiene aspect, but then it is very prevalent and in the face. So and aftermarket enablement in terms of service infrastructure, in terms of technicians availability across the board. If you look at traditional eyes and their success infra that they have, it is spread across the country. Even a remote place will have a bike mechanic available at 24/7, right? So to create that kind of capability and infrastructure which is available on demand at any point of time, you need to have trained workforce, and the workforce needs to spread. So this is only possible when across the board educational infrastructure is built, sustained, and funded equally and supported by the industry. So to play that long-term game, and also not to forget that EV itself came about with great innovation, right? So tomorrow's innovation will be fueled by what we currently put as infrastructure too. So that's why I said my impetus was also on the fact that not only we train and produce more technicians and industry-ready professionals for EV, but also invest heavily in the R&D space, right? That will create a infrastructure which is taking us ahead in terms of transformative practices within the EV space, right? Why can't we build a Tesla in India? We can. but it's only a matter of time that we find the focus and the energy that is necessary to drive those aspects in thing. I think these are some of the very pertinent points that I wanted to touch upon. One is to have structured training tie-ups, aftermarket enablement in terms of training the technicians across the board. We have a vast geography, and also markets are uncontested in a lot of space across the globe, and on the job pipelines where we are training within our own organizations to be able to make the workforce that is already with us engaged much higher in terms of value proposition and their professional capacities and capabilities. I think that'll drive the chains of training and getting the workforce ready across the board.
Thank you for your insight, sir. So my next question is for Pradeep, sir, who is coming from Excite Energy and a major player in the EV component industry, as well as the wholesome component industry for the auto industry. So how do you see the Indian auto component manufacturers doing enough to create a streamlined pipeline of future generation of skilled workforce?
So thank you, Moina, for that. And thank you, ASI, for inviting me to this forum. If you look at the EV industry and the components that go into it, the large part of it, or the large cost part of it, goes to the battery pack, which is ranging anywhere from 35 to 50% roughly, or even more, depending upon the what cells they choose or what capacity they want to sell to the customer. So if you remove the drivetrain and the battery pack, the rest of it is quite similar to the ICE engine and the industry that we are familiar with for decades. And the current set of industries in this domain, especially the autocom domain, they have established a lot of practices by way of which they are capable of producing the way we need it, even for the EV industry. So that is one leverage. But upfront, there is a big demand onto them because the whole purpose, the whole choice that we made with an ICE engine-driven vehicle versus an EV, the customer's perception is very different. Because the customer has an upfront sunk cost, which is much higher, and then followed by so many other issues that they face once they are starting to operate. I think my fellow panelists were talking about thermal management and various other issues that come once the vehicle is running, right? And lastly, what we are buying now, we are not buying a vehicle. We are buying another iPhone or a laptop because this is a smart, intelligent device that we are buying. So the whole perception that we have from the customer towards this product itself is very different from the traditional purchase practices. So the auto comp industry, the entire component, the value chain that is involved in supplying as well as the aftermarket service and support need to have a completely different mindset towards this. So the customer experience is going to be different. The cost proposition that is working in the mind of the customer, that needs to be taken care, especially the rural market segment, which should be one of the areas where we need to put a lot of thought about. How do we ensure that it is least expensive for them and it's durable, extensively durable for them, and make them invested in an EV? So our industries have to leverage the learning. They're doing a lot today in terms of their academia relationship, their skill building programs, engaging people early through ITI schemes or through the NAP schemes and so on. That's really encouraging. It's well appreciated. But I think they also need to put effort in imprinting this information in each of these participants, that now you're looking at not just getting skilled, now you're actually getting into a service-based industry. And you're also part of the knowledge industry that you have to support. That's what I believe the team has to do. But they need to heavily leverage from where they are, because all the big companies have invested heavily on technical training institutions, and they have a good value stream that they have created for this. They're attractive. I think leveraging this is still, I'm seeing already some of the big companies doing it. They are reaching out to all of us in terms of creating the curriculum, which is more advanced, than what is generally available in the institutes in India today, which is appreciated.
So my next question for you, when it comes to supply chain development for the EV industry, what do you see the Indian workforce is contributing in that? And what is more needed to be done to improve that chain?
Yeah, good. So, like what Srinath said, it's a multidisciplinary engineering and knowledge-based industry. It's like steel, where you will find every branch of engineering working. This is very similar to that. You want polymer chemistry, you want people from the traditional industries. You want a lot of people who are working in the modern knowledge like data analytics, and other IT solutions, right? So what we have established over a period of time, our Indian mind, Indian brain is capable of handling many of the challenges that the EV industries face today and are able to find solutions towards that. That's the most promising part of it. However, what I also feel is we have a lot of other challenges which are beyond the country, particularly when you look at the cell. Most of the raw material will have to come from a different country or multiple other countries. So the dependency is very high, and the knowledge and the scale at which those industries operate, raw material industries operate in those countries, are phenomenal. So our workforce have to get skilled to that level where we can probably source the basic raw material instead of processed raw material and diversify the risk, because single source dependency is our biggest issue. So we need to have a skilled workforce where we can do the refining ourselves and also are in an inventive nature than just being an innovative, because innovation is just simply jugards. We want inventive nature, inventive brilliance in our students. Our academic infrastructure need to fundamentally gear up towards that. It's very heartening to see people like Srinath with so many IPs, and we want everybody who is in the industry talk about having that kind of contribution towards this particular industry. Otherwise, we are going to face a lot of challenge. We know our neighbors are really smart, and they have built gigafactories beyond our imagination, and we are far away from meeting a fraction of that kind of production and scale. So just being an assembler of CKDs, we have to move to a country that invents the solution and has IPs around it across the value chain.
Thank you, sir. I would like to go to Mr. Anil Dadich. Sir, how do you think the corporate sector in India is doing enough to create a streamlined value chain to develop a skilled worker pool?
Good afternoon, everyone. As a part of CSR, actually, I'm an odd man in this, I think so, because I am from the social development sector, but then we are very much linked with the business and we understand business very, very effectively. As a part of JSW, we are in a very diversified and very speed up company now in India. Now we started with steel, then we moved to energy. Now we are in infra, and now we are moving to the mobility. So now, in a very soon in Aurangabad, in Maharashtra, we are investing around 27,000 crore for building new facilities for the EV vehicles, including bus and trucks. So, like we are actually growing company, and as a CSR, we are also moving to the automotive business. Like we have invested 33% or 35% in MG Hector also. So now we are making steel and also now making the vehicles. So there is a huge competition to the players, which existing players also. And we are also thinking in a skill domain, like as a basically a CSR, one of the core area is skilling the people. And I see a huge gap in India, like domain of CSR. Like whenever we say we want to build a skilled workforce, the biggest issue is about having a data. And when I see the data in automotive Like we have 3 clusters. One is Chennai, one is Pune, and one is in a Gurgaon side. So mostly the automotive sectors are linked in this area. Now skilling in other areas, because we have scattered around 26 locations. So our biggest issue is that getting the proper data, like what skill need to be there for the future. That's also a biggest issue in the CSR domain. And the moment we started, the next questions the people will ask, like uh, how I should get a job. That's the fundamental questions they ask. And where the skill is required and the people are there, because India is a big country. So we also talk to some colleges. We work with the colleges. Colleges doesn't connect with the industry. And industry, colleges doesn't know what type of skill force I want to build on. So I can see, like Vasundhara madam said, like there is a huge skill gap issue is there, and Srinathji also said. Uh, I as a basically a challenge is this, and a lot of time I ask same questions to the people. Like suppose I want to build a medical college, I have a 400 bedded hospital. Now suppose I want to build an engineering college, I don't have to do anything. I have to only train the people on theory. So we and biggest issue for the children today, like graduate, they don't get industrial exposures also. Like they have to struggle for the industrial experience. Industry is not allowing. Like I can say, my industry is also. We don't allow people outside people to come in the factory and learn, and later on we absorb because of the issues. Lot of issues are there. So most of the industry is like reluctant to share the knowledge, and industry also cry for the knowledge. So industry talk in a dual side. One side they say that I'm not getting skilled manpower. The second side we are saying we don't want to train the people. So I don't know how we can solve this problem. But as a CSR, we are struggling to train the people on the skilling part. The biggest issue is about the proper database and industrial connect with the people. So this is the challenge which I can see. You can mention a lot of challenges, but these are the major challenges I can see now.
So it's quite like an egg and chicken problem.
Yeah.
So, sir, my last question. What are the areas you think the Indian corporate sector should come forward to develop a skilled workforce pool? Because it's not only going to help the youth and the workers, it is also going to help the industry at large and the nation.
Oh, yeah, I got that. So the truth is that industry doesn't want anybody. If you see a big industry, like we are getting abundance people, industry's mindset is very clear. I will induct the DETs or freshers. I will train them and do that. So industry doesn't want, technically speaking, like they don't want, I need to train people for my future businesses, because industry knows that we have abundance of people, and whatever with people we can take it. And also we want to cry for that. Because the issue is about manufacturing sectors, which is going on in India is very low compared with the, like Pradeep ji says that we have to find with the giga factories, and these giga factories, and we are very nano factories here in India. So, in a nano factories, there is always competitions for the people to enter in the factories. Where the factories are there, they are not getting manpowers. And where the manpower is there is no factories are there. So these are the issues which I can clearly see. And currently we don't have answer for that. How to fight with the giga factories.
So it's basically an unsolved mystery or something like that.
No, it's a solvable. Like it has some solutions, but that solutions need to be done by national level. Unfortunately, if you see carefully in a short, which I want to mention, like China has decided their country as a manufacturing hub for the world in 1970. Now we are in 2025. Now also, national policy maker, a lot of people doesn't know about this. So we don't have any national policy that what India want to be. And if we are clear, like we are a service, we are a service sector. In a lighter mode, I always used to say that USA has trained 2 Kamwali Bais. So they have given one to China. So China is serving in a manufacturing and we are in servicing. So these are the 2 Kamwali peoples they have trained. But now they are in a big trouble because these 2 people want to actually bulldoze their country. So that's a fight going on. So there is some solutions, but then it is at national level and we need to, like intellectual brain like us, we need to think on and we need to see that the huge manpower we have, how to train them and how to make them workable. I always say that when in a CSR I run some skilling program, the next question they ask us, sir, हमको job कहाँ मिलेगा? And we don't have any connect with the jobs. So that is one unsolvable problem right now, but I'm very optimistic that we will have some solution. And like these types of forums, some of the intellectual will come and take a serious decision about the country. So I'm very optimistic on that.
Okay, thank you for your insights, sir. And thank you everyone for sharing your valuable insights. And also, I would like to thank Ishika for arranging this panel discussion. And I think it was quite enriching to have the insights from all of you about the upscaling of the Indian workforce and building an employable workforce and a streamlined pipeline for that. Now, I would like to conclude my from my end, and over to Ishika.
Sure. Can we just have all the cameras on once, please? Kashi Vishwanathan sir, if you could just turn on your camera.
It's taking some time actually, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted a screenshot of the same so that we could use it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was indeed a very insightful session. And thank you so much for sparing time from your busy schedules and giving us such insight of yours. Thank you, Mainik sir, for moderating the session so well. And thank you, each one of you, for coming here and in giving us such insightful thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shika.
Thank you.
Thank you all for conducting the interview.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
And
you.
then we can also
Thank
create
you,
a
sir.
group and then we can join and we can share the information each other, because all the information can be shared and to benchmark the global, definitely we can move forward. And then of course, as our PM told that India should be the export hub for the electric vehicle. Definitely, we can create that momentum across the world. Actually, right? Everybody, because I roam around the world, wherever I go, there will be a association like Gujarat Association, Maharashtra Association, Tamil Nadu Association. So I lived in Haryana for 7 years. So I am very comfortable with all over the state actually. So wherever we go, Indians are there. That is for sure. Even in New Zealand or even in Alaska. So from north to east, west to east, I mean west to south, and Indians are really rocking the world. So we will definitely make India as a proud sir. Thank you so much, Tirishika. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.